Hi everyone, it's Cynthia here. I'm just here to share a few projects that I created for a design team call over at Lavish Laces. Giselle is hosting her first design team, and she is hosting it until May 27th. She's looking for 4 or 5 design team members. And basically the requirements are to make a video, create 1 or 2 projects every 6 weeks. You must have an active YouTube, blog, or Facebook account. Take some photographs, at least 2 or 3, and either put it on your Facebook or Lavish Laces Facebook. Lavish Laces, if you haven't heard of Giselle's store, she has a store on Etsy, and she sells vintage trims and wild orchid craft flowers. She also sells the really gorgeous chiffon rose trims and the mesh flowers and appliques. She also carries the pearl trims and gems. And then she's got some new opulent laces that she's posted on her Etsy store. So if you haven't checked out Giselle's Lavish Laces on Etsy, please do that, because she's got some fantastic products there. Excuse me. So anyways, I've created 4 different projects, and the first project that I created that I'm going to share with you is a lace roll. I decided to do the lace roll because I've been watching on YouTube, and Domino hosted a challenge not too long ago, and they did, or a swap, sorry, and they did swaps on some of the lace rolls. So I thought, what a better way to showcase some lace and some trims by doing a roll. So I started first, I used the toilet paper roll, and then I also used the Tim Holtz picture wheel for the top and the bottom base. And then I put it all together, and then I did add some feet on the bottom. I used the Prima lyric paper to create this roll. And I also added a key on the top, a few Art Cake charms, some cabbage gone flowers, and I punched out some butterflies out of the lyric paper as well. This here flower is from Michael's, and it was actually on clearance. They were some cupcake top flowers, so they came in white, and I wanted it in pink, so I just sprayed that with my Lindy Stamp Gang sprays. And then I created this stick pin, and then I just stuck it in the top of this thread spool. And on the thread spool, I just added a bit of laces and a little bow there. I also altered a cork, and the cork is just your regular wine cork. I picked up a few of them at a restaurant we were at not long ago. They had a whole bunch of them in the bin, and you could just take whatever you wanted. So I added the Tim Holtz bauble at the end, and then some chain, and then I just made this hanging charm that hangs down. And I added some lace onto the cork, and again some more trim. And as you can see, all the way around is this gorgeous applique, and I got it from the Goodwill. They were wedding gloves, and I decided to grab them and use them. And then I also added a vintage button here. I guess my style is, I'd like to say, a bit shabby chic, a little bit on the vintage side. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to show you how the lace rolls out. What I did is I had bought a huge burlap garden roll at Michael's, and then I just cut it in half, and then I pulled out all my different laces that I have, and I don't have a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of places to get them around here. So I stitched them all together so that they stayed nice and tight and didn't fall apart on me. And then I again used the Prima lyric paper, and I added some different tags inside and one of the Prima flowers. I also used from my stash some of the doily flowers. For the banner, I used some of the seam binding and cut it into a banner, and then I just sprayed it with my Lindy Stamp Gang sprays. And then here I added one of the windows from the Prima garden windows, and in behind there I added a picture that was also from the lyric paper. And then I added this paper tape, measuring tape that winds through, and then a few more cabbage gum flowers, and then again I continued on with the banner. I found these rosette trim flowers at Michael's. It's the first time I've ever seen them, so I grabbed a few of those. And then as we keep opening, I added some pearl trim here. It's kind of like a bracelet. I just put it together, and there's a few more paper tags here and another butterfly, and then any of the burlap trims that were left, I just added them in there as well. I also had this trim that was like kind of had feathers and flowers on it, so I added one of those. And then at the very end underneath I added a Prima bulb and a few more tags from the same paper line and another punched out butterfly. And then I finished off with the banner, and then I added the key and the keyhole. So for the inside of the inside of it, I just covered it with paper, and then I put the pearl trim up top and on the bottom. On the back side, I finished that as well, and these were the appliques from the wedding gloves that I was talking about. So I added them on top of the burlap and the lace, and then in behind I also ran some of the Chinese braid lace all the way down. This is a flower from Prima, and then I just added some of the fabric there. And then there's the vintage button. We're back to the front, and some more of the applique. So that is my altered lace spool that I created for Gisella's design team call. That's project number 1. And I will just move that out of the way and bring in the second project that I created. And the second project I created was a card. And I used the corrugated card base to create this card. And I used some of the papers from the authentic paper line, and I had that in my stash, so I added that. I used the saturated Canary stamped image, and I just love saturated Canary, and she's so cute. So there's the stamp that I used. And I paper pieced her shoes and her dress and her hair bow, and then I colored in the rest of her skin and her hair with the Copic markers. I added some bling trim here, and then on this side I also added one of the crystal stems and some wild orchid craft flowers, and then just an embellishment, a butterfly embellishment that I had in my stash. And then on the very bottom I added some lace and some more of the clear pearl trim. And then for the inside I just used the same paper line, and I went around the whole edge of it with the lace trim so that it coordinated inside. So that is my project number 2 that I created. And then my third project is an altered domino. And I've been seeing a lot of these. I'm just going to go a little close up here. I've also seen a lot of these on YouTube lately, and I just thought that they were so beautiful, and it was a nice way to showcase some of the lace and some of the trim. So what I did is I alcohol inked the domino, and then I added an image of a hot air balloon, and then I just added Fly With Me, and then on the back I added another piece of paper, and I stamped an image on there, and I just put Dream. And then all the way around I added some black bling trim, and then it goes all the way around the whole domino. And then on the bottom I just added a few of the bead caps so that it had feet so that it could stand up. And then I used this really pretty lace trim. And you just open up the lace trim, and I created the book inside. And I used the Prima, no, actually I didn't use the Prima for this. I had some other paper in my stash, and I just cut that up and I used that. And then I had a chicken wire stamp, and I just stamped on top of that. So that is project number 2. Or sorry, project number 3. Losing track here. And then for the last one, I was making a tag for somebody very special on YouTube, and this is like a huge tag. So I actually think I'm going to have to move the camera back for this one, or actually pan and pick it up. So this is the tag that I created, and I use the Prima, which one did I use? I used the, Prima Divine, the Prima Divine paper line. Sorry, I was just losing it there. So the base of the tag is just recycled. It was a recycled box, and I just cut the tag out. And then on the very bottom, I added Believe in Yourself, and I added that with a stencil and some texture paste. I didn't have the dress form, and originally I thought I had the Tim Holtz dress form, but I did not have it. So I had like a template. Sorry, here's the template. A template, and then I just cut it out 3 times so that I could get the dimension on it. And you can see it's 3-dimensional on there. And on the bottom, I added 2 different types of lace trims. I put one underneath, and then I added another one on top. And then up here I have some of the mesh bling trim. And then here some of the flower trim. And then I also added paper tape, and I went right across the whole tag with that. And then I have some of the Prima butterflies, and I also added some of the wild orchid craft flowers as well. I'll just zoom in there. And then I had this Arctic Cake tag, or Arctic Cake charm. So I added the Arctic Cake charm, and it was silver, and I kind of didn't like it in silver, so I gessoed it and painted it up. And then on the very top to hang the tag, I just added some different ribbon and lace trim, and it can hang from a wall, and it's tied in a nice bow. And then here from the same paper line, I added this banner, and then above the banner here, I added some more of the pearl lace trim. I'm sorry, I'm really nervous, guys, so I'm like got this camera going everywhere, and I feel terrible. So I'm just going to zoom out a bit, and you can see in behind the dress form that I added some wings, and I added them with a stencil and texture paste. And then just to tone down the paper in the background, I ended up just putting some gesso on that. So if I zoom in closer, you can see the wings there in behind. So that is my last project. And oh, actually I forgot to mention that I also added some banner down here just above where I had put Believe in Yourself. I added some more banner there. So those are my 3 projects that I created for Gisella's DT call for her Lavish Lace Etsy store. I hope that you all liked my projects, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.